Good afternoon. I'm here to address the topic of discrimination of services, and I will be refuting the claim that states that anti-discrimination laws for businesses are unnecessary. Some of the secondary claims are that economic interests prevent discrimination, anti-discrimination laws will harm the consumer base, and that few businesses wish to continue to discriminate against their customers. I'll begin by addressing the first point by saying that economic interest not always succeeds over discrimination. Although discrimination against customers would indeed make a business lose profit, which goes against economic principles, there are various cases that prove otherwise. In the Christian Post, we see people celebrating the Washington florist that denied service for gay weddings and was fined about $1,000. According to her, a fine would not make her break down the principles. Also, according to the Eater, there's an Indiana pizzeria that publicly announced they would deny any service to any member of the LGBT plus community. Moreover, the state of Indiana passed laws that actually protect businesses that choose to discriminate against their customers. The idea that the market will find a way for displaced, discriminated people is indeed a fairy tale that we all wish to be true. A research in Chicago and Boston conducted by the National Bureau of Economic Research states that when they sent out resumes with traditionally white-sounding names or traditionally black-sounding names, higher quality resume elicits 50% more callbacks, whereas for an African-American, it elicits a very small increase. The research also uncovered more disturbing factors, such as that applicants living in better neighborhoods receive more callbacks. Anti-discrimination laws will not harm the consumer base. That's the second point. If businesses do indeed continue to discriminate under anti-discrimination laws, they will effectively run out of business. First off, I would like to point out that earlier in the argument it was stated that economic interests prevent discrimination. So that's very contradictory in the argument. And then I would, since there was no proof provided at for this point, I'd like to classify it as an irrelevant argument because it made assumptions that did not follow the information provided. Also, according to the argument, price discrimination is almost necessary for businesses to make profit. And apparently, if people did not discriminate, somehow the economy would be heard at a level of employer, employee, and the customer. I would like to classify that as a hasty generalization because there are multiple companies out there, such as Starbucks, that are very LGBT friendly, and they do not discriminate against either their customers or their employers. Today, Starbucks, according to Lotso Geomatics, has over 21,000 stores worldwide, and according to the Starbucks Investor Relationships, they have revenue $14.89 billion per year. Then moves into the third point, which says that few businesses wish to discriminate against their customers. If that were true, then the car dealers would not charge Hispanics and blacks higher auto loan rates. According to Singletary from In Charge, blacks paid a median interest rate of 7% compared with 5% for white borrowers and 5.5% for Hispanic borrowers. On used car loans, African Americans and Hispanics both received considerably higher interest rates. The median rates for African Americans and Hispanics were 9.5% and 9% respectively. Second, according to the White House, overall, women make 70 cents to $1. Also, according to the Food Research and Action Center, supermarkets tend to have higher prices in low-income areas. In fact, not only are the prices higher, but also low-income neighborhoods frequently lack full service, such as full-service grocery stores and farmers markets where residents can buy a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and low-fat dairy products. Another example is the real estate business. The real estate business also discriminates. According to Dillon from the New York Times, in more than half of a study commissioned by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development concluded that in more than half of the test cases, in which both testers were shown the same number of apartment homes, but in cases where one tester was shown more homes or apartments, the white tester was usually favored, leading to a higher number of units shown to whites overall. Ultimately, it was also argued that according to the previous argument, Hooters in the porn industry is discriminating in favor of women, allowing them to have more jobs. And it stated that female porn actors earn 500% more than their counterparts, and that homosexuals make almost 3 times more than heterosexual porn actors, And I would like to classify as a transfer fallacy of composition, because just because in the porn industry and Hooters, women and homosexuals make more money, it doesn't mean that overall in the general economy, those people make more money. Ultimately, many of these statements try to bring some sort of economic appeal to the issue of discrimination, and I would like to argue that that is avoiding the issue, because discrimination transcends far beyond economic matters.